everybody, here on the Locked On NFL podcast at the Super Bowl with Dave Mason, BetOnline at Dave Mason BOL on Twitter. Dave, thank you so much for joining us. Let's just start at the thing. This is probably the biggest thing, the biggest bet you guys have for the Super Bowl. Spread over under. Tell me where we're at.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, I'm sure we're going to talk about props. There's a gazillion props loaded, but the stuff that gets the most action, of course, the bread and butter is the spread total money line. Currently, we have the Rams at 4-point favorites. They opened at 3.5, got bet up to 4.5, and back down to 4. The total's currently 48.5. That opened 49.5, so we're down 48.5.
Yeah, it's always so interesting how that stuff kind of fluctuates over the course of the week. And like when I'm betting, that's something that I'm always trying to watch is like, am I betting something, am I taking them at -4.5 when I could wait 3 days and get them at -3.5? And that's always this weird thing.
Sure.
I'm sure you guys are watching that at the same with similar intrigue.
Oh, sure. No, I mean, no one can predict the odds, not even the sportsbook can predict the odds 100%. I mean, the odds are, what we feel is the right number, and then we let sharp action dictate it. Sharp action means long-term winners that get the best of the number, and public especially on a game like the Super Bowl. The public will have more influence. Like the other day, it was 4.5, and a player bet $100,000 on the Bengals at +4.5. So that moved the odds. Another player bet the money line Bengals outright for an obscene amount of money. So that moved the odds. So yeah, it's, I mean, as of now, that the bettors are on the Bengals. 64% of the cash is on the Bengals getting the points.
Interesting.
And about 53% is on the Bengals outright to win outright. So yeah, as of now, BetOnline's going to be Rams fans. And if you're just going off public action, it might go down to 3.5. It really could.
Yeah, you still have a hook point.
So much volume on this. Yeah. Absolutely. So there's so much volume. We'll see if the Rams bettors are holding out. It's always interesting. I mean, so much money comes in late, but right now, Team BetOnline needs the Rams, but we'll see.
Well, yeah, a long week ahead of us, right? So here's the deal. What I really want to talk to you about is the fun stuff. Chatting here with Dave Mason at Dave Mason BOL on Twitter. And I want to talk about the fun stuff a little bit. One of my favorite bets, I take this every year, and I think I lose it every year, so you're welcome, is whether or not there will be a scoring drive shorter than the national anthem. It's so degenerate and fun. And I guess my question is, how do you come up with weird, like I was just scrolling through, and you're betting on like the price of a Bored Ape NFT at halftime. Like, how do you come up with this stuff?
Right. Well, I mean, some of the stuff, something like that, the national anthem, we do come up with a number for the over under national anthem. So we have that number, and it goes by, tradition and, prior national anthem that's this woman has sang, and there is not a lot of data on her out there.
Sure.
Then you add a little bit of time to it because it is a Super Bowl. Whenever we find these singers, and they have a few national anthems on the Super or on YouTube, right? You can always add a few seconds on that. The Super Bowl, world's biggest stage. They always go a little bit longer. That brave at the end is a little bit longer than it usually is. They want to milk that biggest stage for everything they got. So we have that number. Then scoring drives, we have those kind of numbers, and we just put the odds up, put some juice on it, and then let the bettors dictate. Some of this stuff is a little bit more difficult to come up with, but a lot of these wacky things, there is some data behind it, I guess. But a lot of this stuff, it's just a few of us and coming up with an idea. And what do you think it is? What do you think it is? Okay, well, let's meet in the middle, throw it up, and let people bet it.
Yeah, and there's just this wisdom of crowds thing that can solve it. Like, how do you figure out the odds for the Gatorade color? Is that also just you're letting the crowd figure it out, or is that something like, well, maybe it's orange because the Bengals are an orange team, so the odds that the Bengals win, or is it more about? I mean, are you studying what color their Gatorade was? Can you find a clip on the broadcast where you could see inside someone's cup? Like, how are you gathering that data for something so off the wall and wacky?
Well, for one, we use we have what we've used years before, and there's always it's kind of a template. It's a rough template, but there is a hierarchy. Then you do look at what the teams have used before, and the big story 2 years ago, what was the purple? There was a hot rumor.
I remember this.
Yeah, there was a hot rumor that the winner was going to dump purple, and purple's always the long shot.
Sure. I think I lost money on this, actually.
I did. I did. I bought into the rumor. The rumor was purple because Kobe Bryant passed away.
Yeah, that was it.
Before that. So it was going to be a tribute to Kobe Bryant, and it was San Francisco against KC, and that shot up. That went from like 14-1 to even money. There's so many people, and it was a valid rumor, but the rumor came from the Niners. So when KC won,
they were orange.
Yeah.
I remember I bet red because purple shot up, and then that gave red better odds. And I was like, well, it's San Francisco and Kansas City. I'm betting red. I'm taking the red, and then it was orange. And
so needless to say, this year we can't write a bet on purple this year. They're at 12-1, but clears the public play this year. Okay. 7-1 and down to plus 150. I saw someone tweeting that the one team, I can't even remember, one of the teams always uses water, blah, 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 blah. So there's just so much interesting stuff that goes into this, that's what makes it so much fun.
All right, Dave, one more thing. I just got to ask you, of all of the wacky, weird bets, I don't want to hear about Cooper Kupp or Joe Mixon under. What's your favorite wacky bet that you love betting on every year?
Every year. Wow. Well, a lot of this stuff is original every year.
Okay. This year then.
This year, there's a few. I mean, one I kind of like is, will Burrow be compared to Macaulay Culkin? That's a good one. I mean,
oh, come on.
Yeah. Right. There's a lot of new stuff too, and like these commercial props. I mean, with crypto and NFTs.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff there.
Yeah, there's so many more, and that I'm kind of an older guy, so this is all kind of new to me. But it is interesting that just shows you how these props evolve year after year after year. I like the one, the halftime show. Well, either Dr. Dre, Eminem, Snoop Dogg.
Who's the first guy? Yeah. I like the cutaways.
Yeah, I like that, and will any of them be shown smoking during the halftime performance?
What will Eminem be wearing? What color is his hair, and what's going to be on his head? Dave,
exactly.
Thank you so much for your time. You can find all of these bets at betonline.net. You can find Dave Mason at Dave Mason BOL. Thank you so much, Dave.
Thanks for having me.